Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to another session on polity and constitution. I hope I am audible as well as visible. Satyapal, sir, happy. Whose birthday is it, Satyapal? Aishwarya, thank you for the inspiration thought. Which class have you come, guys? Which inspiration thought? I have said nothing so far. Great. Without me saying anything, some people are inspired. Amazing, amazing. Basu, sir, if you don't mind, how the approval for ordinances by governor? Approval of ordinances in the sense that the ordinances have to be tabled in both the houses. It cannot simply be tabled in one house only. And if either house is not present, an ordinance can be promulgated, right? So this means that there is an equality with respect to the approval of ordinances. Now, beyond that, the actual passage of the bill in terms of ordinance that is again based on the limited powers of the council. Raja, yes, that's also correct. No, Soumya, the provisions are actually mandatory. How much to provide for, what is the extent to which the funds and functions can be devolved, that's optional. Uh, Prabjot, firstly, extremely sorry to hear that. Don't worry, but my advice would be to see the videos as well. Just reading the PPTs may not be of much help. Shahul Hamid, 1 day notice is required to the presiding officer. It must be given. Pihu, this was mentioned yesterday only because Arunachal does not have the scheduled caste population. Manam, happy. Whose birthday is it? Nagul, ordinance is just, see, ordinance is not approved. Okay, the a bill is brought to take to replace the ordinance. It's an ordinary bill, so simple majority. Who nominates? State government nominates. Ashay, study, revise more. Bhuvnesh, 2029, I cannot guarantee anything, but it's too long. Nisarg, yes. Lakshmi, we have all the things at the state level also. It's exactly the same procedure, nothing else. Governor signed it, Priyadarshini. Uh, Tulsi, we have to give the exact context. Just a small part of it will be devoid of the context. So give the full context. Is it some committee recommendation or is it a constitutional provision? Because we have seen what's the constitutional provision. Nutigadi, governor has more discretionary powers compared to the president. K. Mahesh, VC appointment is not discretionary. Kumari, why is not made mandatory? Because we'll discuss the problems first. Let's discuss the problems first, and then you'll understand why these things are not made mandatory. Pranav, timetable. Have a timetable in place that ensures discipline. Okay, guys, let's begin our discussion for today. So, now, in the previous class, that is yesterday, we saw the passage of bills, a very basic and generic kind of topic, and then we saw the panchayats. I explained the entire provision of panchayats. Hopefully, all of you have revised that. I had also asked you to draw the diagram 2 to 3 times, which I hope you would have drawn. I know the reality, but let's hope that you have drawn. And also, the constitutional provisions. Beyond that, we also were discussing about the problems of the PRIs, the major issues plaguing the Panchayati Raj institutions. Right. In this regard, let's continue with our discussion further on the remaining issues concerning the Panchayati Raj. But before that, we know very well the first few minutes are devoted to solving some questions. So let's begin with the questions for the day, starting with the first question. Okay, easy question. Legislative Assembly, while passing an ordinary bill, can override the amendments made by the Council? Of course, yes. A bill rejected by the Assembly, irrespective of its origin, ends and becomes dead. So ultimately, it is the Legislative Assembly uh, whose powers prevail. So 2 is also correct. C, both 1 and 2. Please mark the answer. Samriddhi, I marked C only. It got incorrect. How is it possible? Such innocent issues. I don't control all this. It's all AI controlled. Okay, a lot of you got this correct. He holds office during the pleasure of the governor. This is actually correct. The pleasure doctrine, though there is no real power like this, but still, that's what we say. He can be dismissed by the governor at any time. Now, that is not correct. In fact, I explained this also a couple of days back. And we know very well that you can't dismiss the prime minister or the chief minister. They can only be dismissed if they have lost what? The majority in the house. And yes, they can recommend a dissolution of the assembly to the governor at any time. This is also correct. So, how many are correct? Two statements are correct. Okay. Moving on to the third question. Okay, so those who have revised would have marked this correct. Those who have not revised would not know. This was a question from the PPTs only. These two are not where you have equal powers. Approval of ordinances, enlargement of SPAC jurisdiction, equal powers, D 3 and 4. Refer to slides, it's mentioned there. Okay, moving on to the fourth question. Please read carefully, mark the answer carefully. How many are incorrect? Incorrect. Anyway, you should have either marked C or D. Both the governor and the speaker can call for a floor test. Yes, of course. Governor does call for floor test, and we have seen in the example of ADL that the speaker can also call for floor test. Of course. What is composite floor test? I had mentioned this under the trust vote that when more than one person stakes claim to form the government, it's called composite floor test. You can refer to this in your trust vote slide under the specific motions. And political parties can issue whip. Yes, of course. In the Kyoto Hollow Hand judgment, Supreme Court has said that yes, issuing whip under NCM or trust vote is perfectly fine. In fact, the parties can also issue whip when it comes to any kind of policy matter which is their poll promise. Clear? This is also correct. How many are incorrect? None of them incorrect. Okay, so D is the answer. And the last question for the day. Please mark the answer. Anushka, assembly also has a speaker, right? Chavan, which district? Are you from Maharashtra or what? Pavitra, schedule 4 and 5 areas. At least type the correct question, Pavitra. That's why, rather than attending multiple batches, revise. What are you doing? Question itself is wrong. Okay, interesting. Ordinance is discretionary powers. Yes or no? Ordinance making power is done on the advice of Council of Ministers. It is not a discretion. Wrong. In case of bicameral legislature, ordinance can be promulgated when the council is not in session. Of course, that's correct. When either house is not in session, it can be promulgated. It is wider than the legislative power of the state legislature. How can this be wider? Right? The state government can issue ordinances on only those topics where the state assembly can make laws. How can that be more? Right? So this is also wrong. How many are correct? Only one is correct. Bicameral legislature. Right, in your school days, you must have studied this. Two houses. Bicameral. Bhuvnesh, did you understand now what is bicameral? You are in school only. What are you doing? No? Anyway. So, in the case of bicameral legislature, meaning if there are two houses, then if either house is not in session, the ordinance can be promulgated. I am not sure what to explain here, just like the center. And on the topics on which the state assembly is allowed to make laws, the state government can promulgate ordinances on only those topics. It's very logical. We had discussed this also in the class, right? So, right answer is A, only one. Okay, let's move on now. Amazing performance today. I'm sure you are all satisfied with the performance, right? Or some of you did get full marks. So let's show the leaderboard to all. Swarfuddin, Ritu, and Aditya getting, and Revana getting all 5 correct. Very good, guys. Amazing. Others, Darshan, Girish, Pooja, Dudekula, Sandeep, Samir, Tanish, Venkat Nalla, Ruhani, Yuvraj, Ayush, Shalja, Sahil, Pranav, Mansi, Dharamveer, Preeti, all getting 4 correct. Okay. Should we move on now? Why am I not getting to see other people's name in this list? When will your names come? When will you revise? This time or after the examination? Please. Okay. Now, let's move on to discuss the problems. I think we are discussing the corruption in PRIs. And okay, some of you have some excuses. Others are saying we will try to work hard. We know very well who will succeed in future. Those who will try, not those who will give excuses. But anyway, no problem. Now, coming to the problems of PRIs, we're discussing these problems yesterday also, and I had explained the problem of corruption, and also one issue how the members don't really use what, the fiscal powers, taxation powers. Now, apart from this, some other issues like 5-year rotation policy. Now, basically, what is this 5-year rotation policy? Do you remember this 5-year rotation policy? This basically refers to what? This refers to the reservation, where seats are rotated. Now, please tell me something. Every politician, whether he works or he does not work, he or she, before any election, comes to our constituency to seek votes, to showcase that he has been working, right? Eventually, what is the motivation for any politician to work? Tell me. The motivation is the possibility of re-election, the possibility of getting re-elected. That's the biggest motivation. That next time also he'll win the election. Yes or no? Oh, money, vote, everything. Again, if money is a motivation, it can only be obtained if you come and win again. So you have to win again, get re-elected. And the entire drama is all about getting re-elected only, right? Now, think of this rotation policy. A particular area A this time is reserved for women, and the lady who contests from this place, and the ladies who contest rather, and somebody who wins, she knows very well after 5 years this is not going to be the case. This no longer will be reserved, it will be an open category. And in all these situations, in most of the cases, we have found that from open or unreserved seats, women firstly rarely contest, and second, women rarely win. So she knows very well that this is her only golden opportunity to win, right? After 5-10 years, once again, when the seat becomes reserved, then who knows what her life is going to be. So, what is her motivation to perform? So, this 5-year rotation policy takes away the motivation or incentive to perform. Secondly, if you have no incentive or motivation, then it is also going to be the case that you have no interest in trying to build long lasting ties with people, etc., knowing the representatives, knowing your voters. You don't care. You have won this time, next time you will, of course, not even contest. So, it also does not allow the representatives to develop strong ties with voters. Okay, so that's there. Aarti, what is PRI? Come on, yaar. Be serious. Okay, so this is the case. Then, problem of proxy candidates. Somebody yesterday was very, very upset, was again mentioning this point. So now the time has come. Proxy candidates. See, when it comes to the problem of proxy candidates, what it basically means is that I'm sure you are aware that in panchayats, let's say a reserved seat is there. Reserved seat for, say, a woman, for Dalit, for tribal, But what is going to happen? The husband, the landlord, they are going to contest. Is what I have written visible to everybody, guys, or is there some problem? Okay, then Rumeza, I think that's your personal problem. You have mentioned it 3 or 4 times. Only you are saying no, madam. Others are saying no problem. What to do now? I can't change my handwriting, and I feel my writing is pretty decent, right? If you don't like my handwriting, I'm not sure how you will survive with other people's handwriting. And if there's a problem I have already dictated, please write it on your own. This kind of spoon feeding and mentioning nonsense in the comment section, it behooves of the authority of a civil servant. So clearly we know where this is going for you. Anyway, every day some kind of I'm amazed at some of the aspirant. I mean, let's not call you aspirant firstly. So proxy candidate. Have you seen this series called Panchayat by any chance? If not, no problem. Don't worry. You have lost nothing in life. It's okay. You have lost nothing in life. Okay, don't worry. Basically, the idea is very simple. A person or the seat is reserved for women. Okay, a lady, of course, wins from the seat, but the lady will never go and attend the meetings of panchayat. No, no, no. She'll sit in the house. The husband goes and attends the meeting as if he or she is the or he is the elected member. Are we clear? That's the concept of panchayat pati, also called sarpanch pati. If it's the sarpanch, right? So panchayat pati and sarpanch pati. So this is a very typical problem of proxy candidates. So despite reservation, despite these benefits being given, we are not really sure how far are the people there able to enjoy the benefits for whom they are intended. The same thing happens for Dalits also. Don't think life is different for them. So what is going to happen is in some let's say a village or a gram, there will be a landlord. In his case, there is some worker working in his field, in his farm, in his house, a scheduled caste person. Before the election, the seat is reserved. The landlord calls the person, come here, you contest. And that fellow contests. The landlord is funding everything. Eventually, when this person wins, he comes back and starts working in the house, and the landlord goes and sits in the meeting with great pride as if he is a real elected representative. Proxy. Clear? Just like your school and college days, proxy, same thing here, proxy. Somebody else actually goes and sits in the meeting. So some of you are mentioning that it has been happening in your ward, in your municipality. Great, amazing. What are you doing about it? Write an application to the district magistrate. Okay, it is their duty to ensure that these things don't happen. Of course, don't create a ruckus, right? We never know. These local politicians, they are uh, prone to doing going to extreme ways and extreme limits. So please avoid that. But still, it can be done. Write a simple letter to the DMDC there. Husband will sit for his wife in lot of GPs. I mean, not a lot of GPs, that would be a bit too much. But yes, it has been coming down. I fully agree. It has been coming down. But it is not that it has completely been eliminated. That is not the case. It has been coming down. Yes. Maybe in 1990s it was rampant. Now less. Okay. Divyanshi, sir, is it allowed to sit in the meeting? Which kind of meeting? Gram Panchayat meeting? You may sit, but you should not sit. The people who are elected should sit. Imagine the prime minister's, sorry, not prime minister, the home minister's wife comes and sits in his place in the Lok Sabha. Then how would you like it? Right? Imagine you clear the examination and now your boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or wife comes and sits at the DM's post. How will you like it? It makes no sense, right? So it is not allowed. Okay, Bhuvnesh, I have no girlfriend. It's okay, Bhuvnesh. Life has not been fair to you. In future, don't worry, good things will happen. Keep on studying. Focus on IAS. Once you clear the examination, amazing things will happen. Okay? Pranav, in our village, our Pradhan was asking for a cut in the money received for making home under Awas. Oh, that's very common. Bribes. Jyotirmay, sir, I want to know if a lady has been selected for Sarpanch, why she can't attend any meeting? Her husband attend all the meetings. I saw this happening in my village also. Madam, how? It's not that a lady cannot attend. She should attend. But if the husband controls her, then what do we do? Maybe the husband is crying in the house that I want to go to the meeting. And the lady says, okay, okay, go. You only attend. We don't know what is dynamics in a relationship, but largely it is just a symbol of patriarchy. That despite the benefits for women, it's the men who corner all these benefits. Have you not seen the case where there are people who have I think a couple of months back, this photograph came that one person in, I think in Punjab, had come to a ration shop. So the government has a scheme, if you know, the National Food Security Act, under which food grains are given at 1, 2, and 3 rupees per kg. So a person had come in a BMW car to collect the ration, the free food grains of 5 kgs, right? So that's how our country is shaped now, that it's actually that the rules, regulations, or rather the benefits, etc., are they reaching the intended beneficiary is a big concern for us. Okay. Now, apart from this, continuance of parallel agencies and parallel programs. Now, I'll give you an example. If I ask you here, rural development is a task that should be performed by which level of government? You will say, sir, the local self government, panchayats. But you'll be surprised that we have bodies like DRDA, District Rural Development Agency. State governments have created these bodies where these bodies have been given the task to ensure the development of rural areas. But look at the state governments. They are willing to create a new body and give the functions to these bodies, but they are not willing to transfer the functions to the panchayats. No faith at all. Or district health and sanitation society, DHSS. So same thing. Health and sanitation should ideally be given to panchayats to perform. But these state governments will create separate bodies, parallel bodies, but will never give the functions to panchayats because state legislature may by law. That may is always a may only. Apart from this, we have programs. Programs like MP Lads, MLA lads. What is lads? LADS. What is lads? Local area development scheme. Lads. Okay. So under this particular scheme, what happens? And this scheme, MP Lads, was formulated in 1993, where 5 crore rupees are given. And the purpose is that the local MP will make recommendations, not spend, make recommendations. So will recommend developmental works in their constituencies with special focus on creating durable community assets, basically drinking water facilities, primary education, public health, sanitation, etc. All these things which the panchayats can be given powers to perform. So the state governments will neither devolve money nor devolve functions. Right? That's a problem. Now comes a very, very interesting provision: restrictive qualifications. My simple question to you: when it comes to the educational qualification, please tell me, what is the educational qualification to become an MP? Nothing? Okay. What's the educational qualification to become an MLA? What's the educational qualification to become a home minister, a prime minister, finance minister, governor, president, vice president? Nothing. Nothing is mentioned. Now, the point here is, in certain states, these state governments have come up with unique kind of restrictive qualification, meaning if you do not have that qualification, you will not be allowed to contest. So one such restrictive qualification is education. Education in various states, Chhattisgarh, Haryana, Odisha, Rajasthan, there is educational qualification. 8th pass, 10th pass. See, I'm not saying it is bad, it's good, but that's not the purpose. And if you want the educational qualification to be somewhere, please have it in the uh, Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha first, then have it in the Panchayat, right? Or one more qualification: in some states, you have to have a functional toilet, a functioning toilet in your house. Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Punjab, Sikkim, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, so many states. Functioning toilet in your house. Otherwise, can't contest. Hey, what's the relationship between a toilet in the house and elections there? Both are very good. Yes, we need toilets in the house, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, but there is no relationship. Or two-child policy. Two-child policy. That if you have more than 2 kids, sorry, can't contest, right? Again, the same old story. I mean, do we have these kind of limitations on MPs, MLAs? Some of the MLAs have had 10, 12 kids. Why to name anybody? There was a situation, there was a situation where I remember this case. So one person was called to a TV show and he was shown a family photograph with all his kids. He could not name all his kids, right? 11 kids. And then they'll have all these jokes. And he was finding it funny. And people make all these jokes that I was in the opposition That is why I was opposing the government's policy of having less kids. It is funny for them. I mean, what can we say? And think of this, these MLAs in the house, when they are passing this proposal, I am sure some of them are illiterate, and they have passed the proposal to have education qualification at the lower level, not for themselves, not for themselves. So it's very strange. Now, these things have been challenged in the court, but Supreme Court has upheld all this. Supreme Court says, no, no, it's very good. It's very progressive. We agree. And Supreme Court says, hilariously, that it will be seen as a learning experience for the higher levels of politics. Meaning, now the MP MLA has to learn from panchayats. It's like telling, kid, behave yourself properly. If you behave properly, your dad and mom can learn from your behavior. Sounds silly, right? Rather, we should have the MP MLAs with these restrictive qualifications, which can also give a nice impact at the lower level. Anyway, so that is it with respect to these limiting qualifications. Then creamy layer has, what is a creamy layer? Any idea? Creamy layer. Like we have the OBC creamy layer. So basically, creamy layer refers to a group within or a subgroup within a group who are socially advanced communities. That's called creamy layer. The correct term is socially advanced. We can also say elite people. Like, in milk, cream floats at the top. So the top layer. In the villages also, the problem here is that there are some landholders. Around 30% people are landholders, and they practically control everything. And there's one very important problem. Some of you, I think, had mentioned that when it comes to panchayats, why do we have panchayats if the state governments have no interest in giving powers, giving functions? So this is a concern. Let me draw this here. See, rural environment, the rural environment, the social fabric there is completely monopolized and controlled by caste, class, and gender. Meaning, rich, upper caste males. The triad of caste, class, and gender. Right? So, this is a big concern, and that's a reason why we waited for at least 30-40 years for finally providing with what? Providing with panchayats, because we knew very well that in 1950s, if you have a very elaborate structure of devolving all the funds, all the functions to panchayats, it would end up lining the pocket of rich and elite people of the village. All the important resources would be cornered by the rich elite only. Even now we are struggling. Imagine 60 years back how difficult life was, right, for a rural poor. So, of course, the caste divide, the class divide, the patriarchy, how would the people, a large group of people, get any taste of power? Of course not. That is why the weight was there. And even now, the state governments use this only as an excuse that if we give all the funds and functions to panchayats, maybe it will not end up reaching the right person. So, we have to ensure that there's a balanced development everywhere, and that's the logic they use. So, creamy layer has benefited more. Then, violent backlash against assertive Dalits. So, we know that there's reservation for SCs, for STs, and you'll be surprised to know that We'll discuss this later on also under Article 16 and 17, untouchability. So there has and there still is, sadly, untouchability in different unique forms. It exists. And there is a caste divide. So at any point of time, if let us say the scheduled caste person contests election, wins the election, but the village is completely controlled by some upper caste people, you will find that that person is not allowed entry in the panchayat bhavan only. He is asked, wait, sit outside. So the meeting is going on and he's standing at the door. Or meeting is going on, everybody sitting on the chair, he's sitting on the floor. And when he tries to assert himself, then beating the person, slapping the person, right? There was a case a couple of months back, not a couple of months, now it's been quite some time now. So, in this case, what happened was that there was a person who was filing for information on where the panchayat is spending money, and he collected data and sent it to the district collector. So basically, he was trying to expose the wrong expenditures or mismanagement of funds in the panchayats. And he was from the scheduled caste community. The panchayat members, a few of them, dragged him inside the panchayat bhavan, beat him, forced him into drinking urine. Right? This matter did not come to light for almost a month. After a month, this person was admitted in the hospital, and only then it came to light. This is the amount of level of atrocity that people are committing. Even today, I don't want to name the leader in one state in the central region of the country who was found urinating on somebody, right? And then the state CM goes and washes his feet. Come on with this drama. There is no need for this drama, right? If there was genuine respect for the communities, the person would have been languishing in jail right on the onset. And that's an old video. It's all politics, right? So, however hard you try, these things are bound to happen and these things will happen. Sadly, all thanks to our politicians who make us realize every day, every moment how different we are, right? How unique we are and how different we are from other people. So, our success in life will be hampered if other communities succeed in life. If that's the preaching that they are giving every day at 9 p.m. in the news debates, also through their controlled media, then what will we learn? Right? So, handful of you sitting here, educated people, have no say on what the crores of people every evening are sitting on that channel and watching. In your houses also, maybe your parents, uncles, relatives, they're enjoying this debate, constant debate. Anyway, so that's again a problem. Then increasing criminality, rampant use of money in the elections, and muscle power. Muscle power means what? Local goons. I mean, if anybody has seen the elections, say I won't name any state here, but a very a north or rather a slightly northeastern state, which is always in news because the CM there is always fighting with the prime minister. They're always at odds. You please find out what is happening in the state in any election, whether it is a Vidhan Sabha election, whether it is a Panchayat elections. People are being murdered, booth capturing, fights, etc. It's rampant. And these are the concerns and problems that are plaguing the entire country. In your state also, you will be surprised that at the lower level, there is complete control and monopoly of few village elites who hire these goons, right? The protein powder fed goons who will go and start fighting, beating the people, forcing their vote. That's worse. I mean, in some states, the voters are bribed. In other states, they are being forced into voting, right? So nothing. So this is again there, increasing criminality and the rampant use of money and muscle power in local elections. So in the recent time, we have also seen that the government is funding, or rather devolving too much of money at the panchayat level, which has, which has brought this to light of all these local mafia. And these people now want to control the panchayats because money comes, fund comes, siphon of funds. That's it. Then domination of the senior political leaders in local bodies. On lot of occasions, you will find that some local senior politician, who may be a senior, meaning somebody who is contesting elections for the Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha. Now he's a senior politician, right? Senior politician, not in terms of age, in terms of the level of politics. Now he or she also wants to go and control the panchayat, go and control the municipality. That is wrong. I mean, imagine you are playing cricket in your gully with your friends. Suddenly, Virat Kohli comes and starts playing with you. Now, of course, your entire game is spoiled, right? The game is suddenly all about Virat Kohli. If a very senior politician starts coming and sitting in panchayat meetings, do you think the meeting will be anything about local issues? No. The entire meeting is completely hijacked by the local politician there, right? Nationalizing of all the issues. But panchayat level is meant for smaller issues, people's issues on a day-to-day basis. Why do we have these big leaders coming there? It's all about the control, right? Control. Prem Kumar, sir, but sir, even if constituency is rotated, women can go through ordinary street without reservation. Yes, they can, but what does the data suggest? Data suggests that in all likelihood, this very rarely happens that firstly women contest and secondly they win, because people also have that mindset only that last time only they women contested, this time a man should. That sense is there. So it becomes very difficult for women to actually win from unreserved seats. Megha sir, SI of my local police station, if misuse is power, what can I do? I don't do anything. Sit, study properly, become IPS, teach him a lesson. Shargun, we have to mug up all the problems, some problems, mug up some problems, write some points, get only some marks. Simple. Now, one more thing, just to summarize all this, and rightfully so, we now see all these problems that are plaguing the panchayats, no control over the staff, etc. Then the right question to be asked is, what's the use value of panchayat? So some of you were actually raising this concern. Why the hell do we have panchayats? We call this the functionality. What exactly is then the functionality of panchayat? Right? With so many concerns. So of course, the functionality can be a very serious concern, but largely we are looking to resolve these issues through steps being taken and through steps that we may take in future. So what steps to take? We'll see the suggestions shortly. But before that, one small point, the panchayat reservation for women. So firstly, tell me, when it comes to the reservation, Article 243D, how has that helped women? Tell me first. Benefits. See, number one, of course, some very simple things. Increase in electoral participation. Yes or no? More women are participating and also winning the elections. So this also has widened, or rather let's write local politics is now more gender neutral. To just give you a simple example, if you look at, say, Rajya Sabha, at the level of parliament or the state legislature, less than 15% women are there. Less than 15%. At the panchayat level, 46% are women. And in fact, you'll be surprised that almost 21 states, not almost, exactly 21 states have made reservation not just 30%, 33%, but up to 50%. So one very important thing to notice for you, 21 states reservation for women is now up to 50%. Okay, so which states don't have it? These northeastern states, because they have their own system. So Arunachal, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Goa, and one large state, UP. Otherwise, recently Haryana also. Every state now has 50% reservation for women, right? So look at the drastic increase in the scale of representation suddenly, that we have roughly 15 lakh elected representatives just in the rural parts of the country as women. This means what? If you have more members who are women, this means more gram panchayat members are women, sarpanch is a woman. Women also are more at ease when it comes to participating in gram sabha meetings, right? So we have seen increase in participation in gram sabha meetings. That's also happened, right? Beyond this, you'll also find that, see, largely at the village level, women have been facing the typical problems of drinking water, sanitation, health issues. And whenever women are made the members of panchayats, or you will find that a woman headed panchayat where sarpanch is woman, they are more likely to spend more money on removing these problems first, right? Not that men are unclean people. The point is that they uh, prefer spending more money on what? They prefer spending more money on removing such kind of concerns. Clear? Apart from this, one more thing. See, all these social evils that you see, social evils of dowry system, child marriage, uh, domestic violence, etc. Women headed panchayats, meaning the panchayat where sarpanch is a woman, you'll find that these panchayats have fared much better when it comes to negotiating these kind of evils compared to a male headed panchayat, because of course these issues were something that were plaguing the women's life for a long period of time, right? So these two are also very important concerns which have been largely solved, right? So that's also there. But despite all this, we still have a lot of problems that women face. Now, see, I'll tell you something. Though it never feels very appropriate, but sadly, that's the reality of life. We always say that UPSC, like lawyers, always make this statement that while they are waiting for their turn, when their next case is going to be heard, on one day, multiple cases are lined up. So lawyers are waiting with their clients for their turn. So just before your turn, there could be possibly a very uh, intense trial going on, where there could be some kind of case of child abuse happening, and all details being spilled out in the court. And you are sitting there as a lawyer, hearing all those gory details of how human beings behave, and suddenly your name comes next, please, and you have to go immediately and start off with your own case, as if you're not affected at all, right? Same goes for UPSC also. You are studying all these issues, concerns, etc., but largely just to collect points and write them, which makes people more immune. And we have this attitude, chalta hai, it's okay, people die, slums are demolished. So we have somehow normalized these things. But since we are preparing for UPSC, that is going to be one challenge, that at least till the examination, we have to discuss, and we have to also look from the rational perspective. So whenever you get any kind of question that deals with challenges that women face, two most important problems that women face, irrespective of where they are placed, is the problem of dual responsibility and security concerns. What is dual responsibility? The work and the home balance, right? So I don't want to make a statement here, but I think that's what will help you understand. In your own house, at least in some of your houses, I'm sure, when the mom is not there, the duty, the responsibility to ensure things are okay falls on the girl child automatically. Automatically. It is always assumed that the girl child will handle all these things. Studying and all, that's okay. But this also, that's your task. Why will the brother do it? If a man knows how to cook, amazing. How nice, how romantic. But woman, she should know how to cook. That's very natural. These kind of things still exist, sadly. Perpetrated by our families only, right? And I don't know, when we claim that, our, at least in today's day and age, our parents, in most cases, we see that they are supporting the girl child with respect to whatever issues that she faces. They are willing to fight for her. Sadly, and a lot of these girls, they claim my father is my hero. Of course, but we wish the same father acted in the same manner with their wife also, right? Then they were completely patriarchal. Now suddenly they have become open hearted. So anyway, why to make any kind of remark? We know, we have all been there, we all see all that happening, we choose to ignore it, right? And the most important point which comes out of this is economic independence. You have to start earning money, you have to become economically independent, not because you can talk back to people who are elder to you, know, but you can point out if things are wrong, right? It's very, very important. Anyway, so that's work home balance number one, which happens here also. So whether you are a sarpanch or all, that is secondary. I at 8:30 p.m. at night, food at the table, where is that? That's the expectation. And all those people who work would understand that it's a tiring job, right? You go out, think of policies, programs, meet people, and come back and cook food. That may not always happen. That's there. Then security concerns, verbal threats, physical threats, sexual advances. These are things that still happen at a very high level in the villages, right? That's there. Then limited exposure. So what happens is, when it comes to the villages, the general literacy levels have been lower in the villages for women compared to men. Also, because of how the society was constructed, women were largely not allowed to travel too much outside. Men did all this work. So when you have not traveled outside much, you tend to become, because of course, lower literacy, and also because of lack of knowledge, you have less exposure, which makes you less assertive. So let's say there's a meeting going on and the woman member is there. Now she may feel very awkward in raising a point of view of hers, because she may feel, what will these men feel? How silly or stupid I am. Let me keep quiet. And that is why they do not really want to take part in the meetings progressively, especially some of them, because they feel that they have not been exposed to the outside world in the same sense that the men have. So it's better to keep quiet. Then lack of motivation, lack of support at the family level, at the member level. So the family also will not really be very supportive of women in politics, number one. Number two, also the colleagues. When it comes to the colleagues, the same old story. The members there, the male members, would laugh it off, right? If you give a suggestion, they'll make fun, they'll crack jokes. uh, you never know how difficult it is for that woman to break all the shackles and come out and sit in the panchayat meeting. The starting line is not the same. She has hundreds of responsibilities. She is answerable to everybody in the family. Where have you gone? Why is it 8:30? Why is it 8:45? As a male, you're not answerable to anybody. You're a free bird. So when a person has come through all the struggle, laughing at them, making a mockery, cracking sexist jokes, look at our jokes. All the humor is all these anti-wife kind of jokes. The husbands, they only know one thing: make fun of the wife. That's how I showcase my humor. So it has a very deep impact on those people. Just think of how bullying worked in schools. Those kids who were bullied, badly bullied, they don't have the fond memories of the school, unlike most other people. So these kind of constant nitpicking comments don't go down well with any individual. So they need some support, some motivation. That's missing. Also, restrictive qualifications. Firstly, yes, education. Education has been a challenge for women for a large part of our post independence period. But what has been a bigger challenge is the two child policy. Now, you may say that, sir, why is this a challenge only for women? Men also will be disqualified. Let me tell you, uh, it's very, very important in our country, surprisingly, to have a male child. Yes or no? I mean, thankfully, we have stopped killing girl child, but still, we have not crossed that stage that it's okay, male or female, it's a child. That's why some fathers proudly say, "Oh, you are not my girl, you are my boy." To a girl, when you make this statement, oh, she must be very, very pleased that, oh, wow, my father, I am the son to my father, not a daughter. So I'm not really sure if that's a very good statement to make. It reeks of patriarchy. But anyway, the point here is that when it comes to two child policy, there has been a preference in our country called son meta preference. So see all those families where you have girl child, girl child, girl child, and then there's a uh, male child. That's when the family stops having kids. So keep on having kids till you have a male child, because a male child is important, because he is the one who will take the family's name ahead, as if you belong to some family of Prithviraj Chauhan, right? That it has to be moved forward the legacy. So that is called sun meta preference. It has been noted in the economic survey also in 2017 that our country is plagued by this sun meta preference. So sun meta preference. So when you have a two-child policy, it impacts women more, because in rural areas don't ever have this feeling that women control their bodies. Their family decides how many kids you will have. If you are giving birth to a female child, come on, more kids. We want more kids. We want a male child. So when a woman is being punished rather for something over which she has no control over, I'm not sure how this restrictive qualification is appropriate. It is not at all appropriate, right? So this is a challenge which impacts women way more than men. And also one more issue which is there is this, that this is an issue that women here in this class also will find immediately when they take their job roles. Accepting women in roles of authority. This is still a challenge for a lot of men. Now, see, let me just also tell you here, all those guys sitting in this class, you are educated people with a high sense of intellect and understanding. So, women here, when you go to Labasna, you'll meet these guys only. They treat you as equals with equal respect, etc. But this is not the world. The world is beyond you people, right? So when you go to your office, you meet the entire gamut of your juniors. Now I don't want to undermine anybody's skill here, but those people, the clerical staff, etc., they have come through an SSC examination, which is just a one day examination. They are not being taught ethical guidelines, moral dilemmas, etc. They have not been studying about history and geography, etc., right? They largely have mucked up some facts. They have come from lower middle class families to get a good government job. That's what they have learned, right? That's what they have learned in their family, that the man dominates. And then when suddenly you become an SP as a boss there, how is he supposed to react? That's what he has been ingrained with. That's a problem. The same thing happens here also. A sarpanch who is a woman, male members who are below her as members, they may not take it lightly, always causing some trouble. Now, this will change slowly and steadily. Nothing can happen overnight. Why to blame any group, any class of people here? Of course, that is what how they were raised. What's their fault only? It's a collective fault of society, right? So these things can only come through awareness, right? Awareness, education, not just literacy, but education. And one more thing, just to summarize it, you'll appreciate this point, that somehow in politics, in politics, parties are still very hesitant to give tickets to women in higher levels also. And at the higher levels also, you'll find that women are always seen in this light only, the three B's. Either you are somebody's beti, or somebody's bahu, or somebody's biwi. You can also add behan here, but the original phrase was three B's. So look at the situation today also. I mean, barring some, ignore Mayawati or say ignore Mamta Banerjee. Barring this handful of women, who have, of course, come up on their own without any support. Yes, Mayawati to a large extent is again seen as somebody who has been supported by uh, some male member, but these are handful of women. Even today, Sonia Gandhi's image is, oh, she married the Gandhi family. By this lady defeated what we know as the most popular PM in the past few decades, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, right? So let us give it where it is due that she was fully deserving of the role she took. But even till date, the same association. Go to Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha, still the same association at oh, MGR. But people don't know that at one point of time, Jayalalitha was an equally big, if not bigger star, commanding same kind of money, had the same kind of hits, right? So we have tried to always find if a woman rises in politics, oh, whose daughter, whose Betty is she, whose daughter-in-law, whose wife. So always this association with some male representative is not justified. We have to view them in their own might and right as well, right? So these are the challenges with respect to women, despite the reservation, despite the good things, despite the good things. Okay, so Muskan, sir, restrictive qualifications are not clear. Sir, you are telling in Sun Meta preference having children till male child exceeding two kids. So how it can be two child policy? Muskan, I meant to say that there is a concept of two child policy. For those who do not understand, two child policy, where you have to have only two kids. If you have more than two kids, disqualified. But in villages, women are forced into having more and more kids. And so they get disqualified. They can't contest. That's a problem, right? So restrictive qualifications like these are a limitation for women to contest elections. Clear? Ashay, no, no, Are sir, come on. Why these things only in our country? Let's not talk like communists. Come on. These issues are there everywhere. Do you think it's a concern? This uh, problem is in India only? No, no, not at all. It's a problem world over, right? Slowly and steadily, we are progressing, we are improving ourselves, and that's how things are. We always have to improve. As I always say, and we always believe, we will never be liberal enough, we will never be woke enough. What was appropriate 10 years back is demonized now, right? We'll always keep on improving. We think our parents are conservative. Today's kids think we are conservative. Simple. Okay. Shelja, see, child marriages happening, if it is allowed in some kind of religious law, the government wants to keep their hands away completely with all these problems, right? In fact, Supreme Court has not interfered, saying that no, 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 Parliament should make a law. So yes, there should be a fixed line. Below 18 or below 21, no marriage. Whether your God says so or God does not say so, that is of no concern to us, right? But that's the problem. The beauty of religion, not in India, world over, is this only. Today, you and me can have a discussion on your choice of movies, your choice of political party, your favorite brands, your favorite color, everything. We can criticize each other on every choice of ours. But somehow, religion, no, 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 keep quiet. Religion is beyond any criticism, beyond any questioning. That's the beauty of religion. It has done just one thing, it stops you from asking questions. Have faith. That's it. So, child marriages largely are attributed to an old mindset, and of course, some to religion as well. which is difficult for any government to interfere with. Let's be very frank here. Okay. Now, what steps have been taken so far? Enough of problems. Now, time for some good things. Yes, steps are being taken in this regard to improve upon the condition of panchayats. First up, one big problem we saw yesterday was the three F's. Remember? Funds, functions, functionaries. Functionary, untrained staff, staff not being trained properly. Now, we have a proper scheme, Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan, to train the elected representatives of panchayat, members of panchayat. And you will be surprised to know that 1.42 lakh, 1.42 crore functionaries have been trained so far. 1.42 crore functionaries trained so far. In fact, just in the year 2022-23, it is the last financial year, 2022-23 financial year, in this financial year itself, 610 crore rupees were spent on capacity building. Rupees 610 crores spent on what? Capacity building. What is the meaning of capacity building? From today onwards, please use this phrase instead of training. It's the exact same thing. Training. Kids call training, legends use capacity building. So when you go to Lavasna, you won't be trained. No, no, no. Your capacity will be built. Are you clear? I am not providing you training here. No, no. I am building your capacity to be able to answer questions in the paper. So please use capacity building. That's a more appropriate term. Now, Gurcharan, I don't see that as, why would you make that statement? I'm not really sure. What's the data to substantiate that? It's just how politics is. So, anyway, then I'm sure you're also aware through your environment classes, etc., that we have something called Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Yes or no? So, there are 17 such goals with 169 such targets to be achieved for the entire for the all the countries. What we have done is that developmental plans are being prepared by panchayats, and these 17 goals have been clubbed into 9 different topics, 9 themes, and on each theme some targets are being given to perform. For example, what are these 9 themes? We have themes like healthy village. We have themes like clean and green village, clean and green village, women friendly villages, child friendly villages, water sufficient villages. So 9 such themes are there on which the panchayats are expected to perform. Okay, etc. Now, based on your performance, awards are also given. So we have now the concept of National Panchayat Awards being given since 2022 on these 9 themes. We have 2 types of awards. One individual award on all these themes, and one is the collective award, aggregate performance. So we have the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Panchayat सतत विकास पुरस्कार और द नानाजी देशमुख सर्वोत्तम पंचायत सतत विकास पुरस्कार. So, for example, दीन दयाल उपाध्याय पुरस्कार, पुरस्कार is award, and then नानाजी देशमुख overall aggregate पुरस्कार being given to top performing panchayats. It's kind of a healthy, constructive competition across the country. Then, e-governance initiatives. When it comes to e-governance, geography voice is coming. What is geography voice? Okay. E-governance. When it comes to e-governance initiatives, of course, the government, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj has launched an egramswaraj.gov.in. So there is also e-gram swaraj. Okay, e-gram swaraj. What is this? Digitizing the panchayats using technology in every aspect of local self-governance. Right? Every aspect of local self-governance, where you are maintaining details of panchayats, various members, financing, accounting, updating the progress report. When you create some kind of asset, you geotag the asset. Every information now available. Not just this, we also have now a mobile application, eGram. This is basically a mobile application wherein you get information and also can avail facilities on your Android. Simple. And we have the eGSPI. This is for online vendor payment. So basically, whenever, let's say, Panchayat wants to purchase 20 tables. Simple example. 20 tables. Now, when you purchase those 20 tables, there are two ways to pay the money. One in cash. You pay 10,000 rupees only and make a bill of 40,000 rupees. False bill. Or online. Online is more transparent because we know exactly how much you paid. Cash transactions are never transparent. So now we have eGSPI where every vendor payment, everything that the panchayat purchases, money spent, it is always recorded online. You'll be surprised to know that as per recent data, 90% of the vendor payments are being done online. So that is actually an advantage of e-governance in its own mind. Now, what steps should we take further? So, second ARC recommendations. Now, what is this ARC? ARC stands for Administrative Reforms Commission. ARC. So this body was formed, or rather this commission was formed in the year 2005. It gave 15 different reports. One such report was on local self-government. So we have taken some recommendations from there. The second ARC, the first one was formed in 1966. Clear? So what does the second ARC say? Firstly, remember the article 243G functions, the powers, responsibilities, and functions of panchayats. The state legislature may by law. So the second ARC says, what is this nonsense may? You remove the word may, replace the word may with the word shall. Mandatory. It should be mandatory. Shall makes things mandatory. So this is for panchayat and this is for municipalities. So collectively, the suggestion. Then local MP, local MLA, local MLC, they should not become members of local bodies. Right? Second day, as he said, please don't have them as members, because again, the panchayat is meant for smaller local issues. When these people come, they completely hijack the issues. That should not be done. Okay. Now, a very, very interesting recommendation. Please follow clearly. uh, when it comes to Rajya Sabha, what's the purpose of Rajya Sabha? Rajya Sabha's purpose is what? To represent states at the central level. Yes or no? To represent states at the central level. Now, if you just observe legislative councils, some members in the council are elected by local bodies. Yes or no? Local bodies. My point is, why don't we simply, why don't we increase this number? Increase to 5/6. Why do you need MLAs to choose? What's the point of graduates voting? What's the point of teachers voting? It makes no sense. Remove all those things. We should have only two types of members: 5/6 chosen by local body members, remaining 1/6 nomination. That's okay. Step one. Step one, in the councils, almost every member should be chosen by local bodies. This means what? Now, council can act as a representation of local bodies at the state level. Point one. Are we clear, everybody, on this? One point that is very important is you have to remember these things. If you don't remember, then how would you understand this also? So if you don't revise, the answer will be no, of course. So I'll explain once again. See, I cannot go and start explaining the legislative councils, but that may not be possible. Okay. So that is something you have to believe me here, because it has been taught already. When it comes to the legislative councils, as far as these councils are concerned, 1/3 members are voted by MLAs, 1/3 are voted by local bodies, 1/12 by teachers, 1/12 by graduates. I am saying, why do you need the teachers to vote? Why graduates to vote? Why the MLAs to vote? Remove all this. 1/6 is governor's nomination. The remaining people of the council, they should be voted upon or voted by the local body members, panchayats and municipalities. Simple. Point one. Once this situation comes up, then we can simply say that now the councils also represent the local bodies at the state level. But you may have one more problem. You may say, sir, but what's the point? Is there any joint sitting? No, there's no point. Second step. We are not saying that there should be some kind of equality of power, but at least in so far as those bills are concerned, those proposals that deal with panchayats and municipalities are concerned, on those proposals, equal power should be given. So, this is number one. Number two, equal powers on proposals dealing with local bodies. Are we clear? Once this is done, then you can actually go and create LCs in all the states with members elected by local bodies plus what? This. Did we understand this point? Adiba, please repeat everything again. Did you understand this point? Haji Adiba, what's your concern? Raise the exact point where there is a confusion. I'll just summarize this very quickly. It's very simple to understand. Just because I said it's a very important point, you are now thinking too much into it. Very simple. See, currently, the legislative councils has members who are elected by various categories of people, right? Categories like some seats MLAs vote, some seats local bodies vote, some seats graduates vote, some seats teachers vote. We are saying remove the teachers vote, remove the graduates vote, remove the MLAs vote. All seats local body should vote, right? Now, once this is done, then if in the legislature there is any bill which deals with local bodies, power to panchayat, funds to panchayat, anything, any bill that deals with local bodies, on those bills there should be equal power for both the houses, meaning joint sittings also. Just like how Raj Sabha has equal power with respect to Lok Sabha on joint sittings, on ordinary bills. That should be done. Are we clear? Prem, but then experts for discussion will not be there. Experts will not be there. How do we have experts right now? Who are the experts? MLAs and these people, the local body people are voting. You can vote for an expert. What kind of point is this? Pula, are these recommendations implemented? Madam, if they are implemented, then we would not be studying about the recommendations. Then I would have said steps taken so far. They are recommendations, suggestions. PU, so yesterday we saw that in proposing the bill, council has no power. So why is so needed? Huh? That is why we are saying council should be given power. Dumpa, sir, joint sitting between whom and whom? Equal power between legislative assembly and the legislative council. They can sit jointly. They can. What are we discussing? Legislative council. Do you remember the council also? I think some of you have no idea what is the council. I'm waiting for that question that somebody asks. What is the council, sir? Did we guys understand now, or still there's a problem? Tell me. Kamlesh, sir, won't the involvement of local body in the legislature lead to increased involvement of MLA, MLC in local body elections? Kamlesh, you have not raised the same concern for Rajya Sabha. Will the same not happen for Rajya Sabha? We are doing the exact same thing that we are doing for Rajya Sabha. How are MPs chosen in Rajya Sabha? Tell me. How are MPs chosen in Rajya Sabha? Who votes? By MLAs. So Prem Kumar, you also. How to then separate between Rajya Sabha and the state MLAs? Then there is no problem. Here also, how will there be a problem? No problem. Afreen, what's the problem with teachers will vote? There is no problem. What's the advantage? You tell me what's the advantage when teachers vote? Okay. So I hope now you get the point. So when there is no point of teachers and graduates voting right now, graduates in today, maybe in 1950s, graduates, a huge thing. Now being a graduate is nothing. It gives you no advantage in life. It's a bare minimum now, being a graduate. So we have to make councils. So yesterday, some of you were saying councils are useless. I am telling you a way in which councils can become useful. Clear? Then, appointment of SEC. Who is an SEC? Any idea? No idea. State Election Commissioner. Article 243K. The person who conducts elections for panchayats and municipalities. They should be elected by a committee. Committee comprising of the Chief Minister, Speaker, and LOP. What is LOP? Please tell me. Leader of Opposition in the Legislative Assembly. I will again tell you for some of your concerns, these are recommendations, suggestions given by a body called second ARC, which was formed in 2005 to improve, to bring about administrative reforms at various places. These are just recommendations. If they are accepted, why would I write them as recommendations? Basic common sense has to be applied. These have not been implemented. If they were implemented, we would have seen them as under this heading, steps taken so far. Are we clear on this? Let's hope we are clear. Then, one more problem is that delimitation exercise which is done for the Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha is done by a very independent body called Delimitation Commission, right? And that's the beauty of it. But the reservation of seats, etc., at the panchayat level, at the municipality level, is done by state government. Second ARC said, why state government? State election commissioner should be made in charge of delimitation and the reservation of constituencies. In panchayat and municipalities. Don't ask me, sir, in Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha. No. Then the Government of India, GOI, Government of India, should draft a proper framework for laying down broad principles of devolution of power, responsibilities, and functions. Because we are finding that these state governments are not devolving funds and functions. So, Government of India has to clearly lay down broad principles which states should be asked to follow. If not, tell reasons why you're not following. Then, enhancing the capacity building of PRI functionaries. Enhancing the capacity building of PRI functionaries. Ajay, how state government do delimitation? Tell me, Ajay, how does the delimitation commission do the same thing? Exact same process. Collect the data, identify the areas, divide the areas, and conduct elections. Jadav, so currently who is doing delimitation? Aresh, I just mentioned this point. Where are you attention? Currently done by state government. Okay, now is it clear? Then enhancing the capacity building of the PRI functionaries, training them, that's going on, right? So it was a suggestion, it is going on now. Pranav, to whom these local bodies are accountable? Local bodies are accountable to the people who have chosen them. Who is the MLA accountable to? The people. Then, State Finance Commission. What is State Finance Commission? The body which gives suggestions on how much taxes can be given to panchayats, etc. The members of the State Finance Commission should have some kind of qualification, right? Just like if you look at the Central Finance Commission, there are qualifications. One member has to have knowledge of public affairs, one member has to have knowledge of economics, one should be retired high court judge, etc. Here also we need to have what? We need to have members who have some kind of qualification. Then SFC report. There's one very interesting point. I'd like to point this out in front of you. Finance Commission at the central level. So all of you are following current affairs and all. Which Finance Commission recommendations were followed recently? 15th one. Yes or no? Remember? 15 Finance Commission. And now we have the 16 Finance Commission. Why 15? Because every 5 years, one Finance Commission at the central level, 75 years, 15 to 5, 75. Every 5 years, we have one Finance Commission. Now think of it. 1992, 97, 2002, 7, 12, 17. By 2017, every state government should have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 SFCs, right? You'll be surprised to know only 4 states in 2018 had created 6 SFCs: Bihar, Punjab, Rajasthan, and Assam. That's it. In fact, 13 states had made only 1, 2, or 3 SFCs. Creating SFC every 5 years is a constitutional provision. One point is not being created or not being set up regularly. Imagine these SFCs are not being set up like this. Imagine if the center does not set up the finance commission. States will go crazy. What has happened? Finance commission not being set up. No democracy. Fascist government. Are you setting it up on time? And then when the SFC gives a report, they have to also attach an ATR. What is ATR? Any idea? What is ATR? In the chapter parliamentary committees, I had given this suggestion. ATR stands for action taken report. Whenever any commission, any body submits some recommendation, the government has to attach their own recommendation called action taken report, and that action taken report has to be tabled in the house, right? Refer to a chapter parliamentary committees, you'll get to know. ATRs must be submitted within 6 months. Currently, delay 16 months. 16 months of delay, right? Then creating audit committees in each district. So in every district, there should be an audit committee which should evaluate all the financial transactions, evaluate all the expenditure made by the panchayats. Now, Afreen says, where does the SFC report submitted? Where do you think it is submitted? SFC is a constitutional body. Every constitutional body's report is submitted to whom? The president or the governor? In this case, the governor, who will table this report in the where? State legislature. Okay. Then, do we have parliamentary committees? Novajit, SFC stands for State Finance Commission. Sir, what are we discussing? What is the question? Do you remember the parliamentary committees by any chance? Yes? Okay, great. In the parliamentary committees, we had some DRSCs, departmentally related standing committees, on various topics. DRSC on health, DRSC on agriculture, DRSC on, say, coal, etc. Similarly, there should be a separate legislative standing committee for local bodies in the states. In the states, there should be a separate DRSC at the state level, not central level, state level, for local bodies. Some MLAs can be a part, some MLCs can be a part, and they can look into giving reports, recommendations on how to improve the condition of panchayats and municipalities in the state. That's there. Then, creating an ombudsman. What is ombudsman? Ombudsman means watchdog. Example, Lokpal. So some of you here who become officers, you will when you will start getting involved in corruption, Lokpal will send the CBI behind you. Okay, so beware of Lokpal and CVC. Clear? But don't worry, don't worry. Others need not worry, because amount of effort you are putting in, you don't have to be afraid of Lokpal, because clearing the examination is a huge challenge, considering the effort you are putting in. Those who are sincerely studying, for them Lokpal could be a challenge in future. Others, relax. Waste the parents' money. Create an ombudsman for a group of districts. Now, if think of this, everybody, in your village, in your block, in your municipality, etc., if the local functionary there is corrupt and you know it, what do you do? What can you do? You can't go and file a police case, right? You can maybe go to the district collector and complain. But DC has no direct power to look into all these things. It's a long process. So, the second day RC said, create a separate body in every district or maybe a group of districts. And that body can be the complaint authority, some kind of a grievance redressal mechanism, where if you find that there is any kind of issue or concern in your panchayat with respect to any member being corrupt, you can go and complain there. Simple. Then abolish parallel programs, right? DRDA, DHSS. We have discussed all this, don't worry. DRDA, District Rural Development Agency. DHSS, District Health and Sanitation Society. Okay. Also bodies. Sorry. Bodies like DRDA, DHSS, and programs like MP Lads, MLA Lads. Okay. Then comprehensive utilization of ICT. What is ICT? Innocent aspirants, please tell me. Information and communication technology. You are using ICT to attend this class. ICT. And also, whenever any kind of project is launched in any area, say some mining project, etc., whatever royalty the government gets from that mining project, a share of it must be shared, given to the PRI also. Are we clear on this? Whenever any kind of mining project, etc., is launched in any area, the government gets the royalty. They have to mandatorily, and they should give some money to that panchayat, because that is facing all the problems because of the new mining lease. So these are the second ARC recommendations. My request is to please mug up all these points. It's extremely important. Okay. Let's take a break. Be back, and then we'll discuss further the Panchi Commission recommendations. And that's it. We are done with the panchayats. We'll move on to the municipalities. Break, please. And come back at, okay, second ARC slide. This one at 7:12. Great, Jadhav. If that is what you think of it, so be it. Right? It's called stick and carrot policy. So I think we should refrain. That shows the amount of diligence we have when we interact with faculty. Anyway, what can be said? Sorry for the delay, guys. We had a long break, a bit too long. Okay, should we continue now? Audible, visible? Great. So, as far as the recommendations are concerned, you've just seen those recommendations. Now we'll look at some Panchi Commission recommendations. If you remember, this Panchi Commission, we had seen one such recommendation under the topic. Which topic? You tell me. Okay, great. Absolutely correct. We had seen the recommendation under governor. Okay. Now see, Panchi Commission actually here also gives some recommendations, and I would say largely very logical. Think of this. What the commission says is that why do we have a three-tier structure? What's the importance of, say, a gram panchayat? Gram panchayat's logic. Gram panchayat's logic is direct democracy, people's participation, closer to people. District panchayat means wider area, the development infrastructure at the headquarter level, large fund base, access to expertise, etc. Logical. Why do you have intermediate? Serves no purpose. So this commission said, please make IP, what is IP? Intermediate panchayat optional. Optional for every state. Currently, IP is optional for which type of states? Which type of states? States with less than 20 lakh people. Those kind of states. But Panchi Commission said make it optional for every state. Because their logic, they say that IP serves no purpose, right? GP and DP, they have a proper purpose, a logic. IP serves no purpose. And let's make it optional. Second thing, to remove the issue of rotational problem, right? Here the Panchi Commission said, let's do one thing. Let's not rotate seats every 5 years, but after 2 terms. At least give people one more chance, not 5, but 10 years. Clear? Simple recommendation. Now, every state, to what extent are they devolving funds? To what extent are they devolving functions? To what extent are they training their staff? Funds, functions, and functionaries. Three F's. We have to set up a separate commission every 5 years. Every 5 years. To look into whether the devolution, the giving, the sharing of the powers, funds, functions, training is happening effectively in the state or not. Clear? And okay, one more point here. What is Article 82, guys? Please tell me. Article 82 deals with what topic? Yes, of course, it deals with delimitation commission. So basically, Article 82 deals with delimitation. As of now, for panchayats and municipalities, who performs the task of delimitation? Tell me. The state government performs the task. Second ARC said that this task should be performed by the SEC. Panchi Commission said that please amend Article 82 and let the same delimitation commission perform the task for panchayats also. Are you clear? Currently, delimitation commission performs the task of delimitation, meaning creating boundaries for states, constituencies, and for Vidhan Sabha and for Lok Sabha constituencies. Panchi Commission says that amend Article 82 to also cover local bodies, meaning when it comes to local bodies, their delimitation, their reservation should also be done by the same delimitation commission. Lakshmi, why these commission recommendations are important and why the commission is important for government? Uh, is this question for the exam or in general? So, in general, why are these commissions important? The government forms most of these commissions. Why? Because the government comprises of select group of people, the bureaucrats, who will have a very narrow vision of governance. They may not have the expertise, outsiders' point of view, experts' point of view, because our bureaucracy is a very generalist bureaucracy. So, how do we improve our administration? How do we improve the structure in our country? Let some experts give us recommendations, and then if we find them nice, we can incorporate them, and then we can improve our governance. That is why we have these commissions recommendations as important for every government to improve the system, right? To bring in it in line along with international practices, international standards. Are you clear? What's the meaning of Panchi? Munigal. Panchi, don't think of the Panchi bird. This was a retired Supreme Court Chief Justice, Madan Mohan Panchi. Okay, in the 1990s, this was a Chief Justice of India. Anyway, no, Novojit, there is no commission. We are going to create a commission, setting up a commission, whatever name not important. Set up a commission to do this task. Read the full point. Set up a commission. Done, everyone? Okay. Now, these are just pointers for you to remember in case you want to write intros and conclusions. Aim of the MOPR, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj. It's the ministry. Don't be confused. Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So, as far as no, Soyab, these commissions are not constitutional bodies, the Panchi Commission and the Sarkaria Commission. Okay. Finance Commission is constitutional, but these are not. Second ARC. No, no, no. What is Amrit Kal? Haji, tell me, guys. What is Amrit Kal? Any idea? Basically, the idea that the government is trying to put forward is with respect to the fact that we are now entering a zone where post 75 years of independence till the 100th year of independence, this 25-year phase, is what is being referred to as the Amrit Kal, a kind of time frame where all good things are going to happen to India. So this would be from 2022 to 2047, this entire phase. And by 100 years of independence, you would have been at the top. Okay, that is Amrit Kal. Somebody is saying Satyug. Yes, yes. Of course, Satyapal. Who else to talk about Satyug than Satyapal? Great. So, what is the aim of the Ministry of Panchayati Raj? The aim is a vibrant Gram Sabha to realize the dreams of Gram Swaraj. Vibrant. These are just high funda things, okay? Nice things that you can write in your intro and conclusion. Clear? So a vibrant Gram Sabha where people participate in the meetings more and more, bring to the front right kind of problems. So I'm not sure how many of you have ever seen a Gram Sabha meeting. Don't worry. When you clear the examination, you will get to see a Gram Sabha meeting only if you clear the examination. Work hard. Okay? Somebody felt this was demotivation. Even the jokes are now demotivation. What to do? How to convince you to study? If I scold you, I'm being too harsh. If I use sarcasm, it's demotivation. What crowd am I dealing with? I fail to understand. Anyway, so a good thing for you is don't worry. On the taxpayers' money, Bharat Darshan, and you will be sent to visit an actual Gram Sabha meeting. Now, realistic, how realistic will the meeting be? That is secondary. So if you get a chance, do sit in a Gram Sabha meeting. It is amazing and it's hilarious. Gram Sabha meetings, people largely don't bring real kind of issues. They bring their personal problems. Neighbor is fighting with me. Neighbor is throwing the trash in my house. These kind of problems in the Gram Sabha meeting. Then at any point of time, fights can erupt in the meeting. Any point of time, this is possible that there can be aggression. These things are very common. And then after every meeting, people will never leave. They'll keep on sitting. Free food, tea, coffee, etc. The whole point is that, I mean, see, people don't understand that Gram Sabha is a place to get the developmental issues resorted. And for that, of course, they can't be blamed. Lack of knowledge, ignorance. So we should hire more NGOs, etc., to tell those people that this is the importance of Gram Sabha. Please bring those developmental challenges at this point, not your personal problems. That's very important. So maybe at some point of time, we'll feel that we have a vibrant Gram Sabha, which can realize the dreams of Gram Swaraj, village governance, people governing themselves. Then, adequate devolution of the three Fs, funds, functions, and functionaries to attain the localization of SDGs. Then, provision of Panchayat Secretariat. What is meant by Secretariat? Any idea? I had mentioned this point somewhere. Secretariat refers to administrative office. Like when you become an IS officer, you will be given a small office which will deal with all the paperwork. That's called secretariat. Mustaba, I am a panchayat employee. Myself, Sarpanch, Gram Sevak, and 3 ward members constitute the Gram Sabha. Okay. So we have a Gram Panchayat member also here. Amazing, great. They can share what is their experience in a Gram Sabha meeting, if at all meeting is held. So basically, we were discussing on how some panchayats don't even have a building. So the Ministry of Panchayati Raj wants that not only should you have a building, but you should also ensure that they have a proper administrative department where paperwork, pen, paper, photocopy machine, all these things should be there. Okay. Then ensuring financial instruments to panchayats like market borrowing. So panchayat should be allowed to borrow from the market, raise money from the market for development. A very good example would be bonds. In your economics class, we'll discuss about bonds. It's a very simple tool. If you want to get money from market, from people, right? What do? You raise bonds. You sell people. Uh, this is a piece of paper. You want to start a business. You can get loan, etc. Or you can sell this piece of paper, write on this 104. Now, tell people, take this paper from me. Give me 100 rupees right now. Okay. After 1 year, come back, show me the paper. I will give you back 104 rupees. Meaning the person who has given you 100 rupees, he makes 4 rupees as interest, or we call that bond yield, some profit. This is one way where the panchayats can raise money, right? It's a debt instrument which is used to raise money. More on this when you study economics. Then strengthening of the statutory standing committees of Gram Panchayat. So we also have these standing committees on welfare, committee on finance, etc. Some Gram Panchayat members form a committee, look into welfare. Some Gram Panchayat members can form a committee to look into the financial devolution, etc. So you have to strengthen those committees also. Then bridging the rural-urban divide to ensure ease of living and quality of life. As I said, it is just a high funda thing, right? So basically, the Ministry of Panchayati Raj wants what? It wants that there should not be any difference only. You enter a rural area, urban area, it should all feel the same for you. Right now, rural area lacks infrastructure. So we want to bridge that divide, improve the quality of life. Same 5G internet across the country, for example. Jadhav, sir, all these things have already been said except market. Nothing, sir. Amrit Kal. These are slogans, government slogans, sir. Nothing beyond that. Dheeraj, sir, can IS hold? No, 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 not possible. Yes, BK Bhu, it's all rhetoric, government rhetorics. Then there should be special plans for gram panchayats, right? There should be, basically the idea is every gram should have proper planning. There should be agricultural areas, there should be residence areas, there should be markets, there should be park, there should be water bodies, industries, etc. Proper planning of the village, right? Beautiful ideal village. Then they should make their own revenue source, own source of revenue, to make them self-reliant. Because right now, panchayats are always with a begging bowl in front of state government that please give me fund, please give me fund. Why don't you create your own fund, own source of revenue? And then there should be effective disaster management plan also for gram panchayats in case of some natural calamities. That should also be there. And lastly, there should be energy empowerment of villages. Energy empowerment of villages. So we have basically that Gram Urja Swaraj. Gram Urja Swaraj. The focus is on rural electrification and especially use of renewable energy. So Gram Urja Swaraj refers to rural electrification. These are the slogans. In case you can mug up some of them, you can use them in your intro or conclusion. So, yeah, sir, are these aims only for quotation? Sir, government wants to implement it. How far will they be successful? State government also has to follow, right? Why to blame only the center? Okay, that's it. We are done with the panchayats. Solve this question. Please read the statement carefully and then choose the answer. Be very careful in choosing the answer. Don't jump to the answer. Uh, See, please understand the underlying essence, the crux, the idea, the central idea, the fundamental objective of Panchayati Raj was two things. Always remember the fundamental objective of Panchayati Raj. Two things. Number one, what is that? People's participation. We want people to participate directly. So, of course, people's participation. And second is that we want to devolve, share, decentralize democratically the power, the functions, etc. So, democratic decentralization. These two are the fundamental objectives. Everything else is an added benefit. Political accountability, or that was not the original idea. Yes, if somebody is elected, we want them to be held accountable, but this is not the central idea. Also, financial mobilization, meaning the panchayat should be able to generate resources or revenue, mobilizing finances. Again, that is not the essential idea. Clear? That is something we would want, that it should happen, but it is not the fundamental objective. So, 1 and 3, C is the right answer. Dvaipayan panchayats can create their own revenue by starting some kind of service, by raising bonds, right? By starting bus service, by conducting more events, etc., market fairs, etc., tax them. So various kind of services can be uh, started by the panchayats. Now we'll move on to the municipalities. Before that, yes, Srimantula, that is the point. Recommendations are suggestions. Same thing. Palak, it's not always the case, but yes, largely they do. Guys, please write a question. Are we ready to write a question? Pen, paper available? Okay, please write. Over the years, over the years, comma, PRIs, PRI, Panchayati Raj institutions. Over the years, comma, the PRIs have evolved have evolved as a significant tool, have evolved as a significant tool for grassroots democracy in India. For grassroots democracy in India. Full stop. Over the years, the PRIs have evolved as a significant tool for grassroots democracy in the country, in India. Clear? Then, however, comma, however, they still face they still face numerous challenges. However, comma, they still face numerous challenges that hinder that hinder their effective functioning. That hinder, hinder, hinder their effective functioning. Full stop. Elucidate, elucidate the major challenges they face. Full stop. Elucidate the major challenges they face. Full stop. Additionally, comma, additionally, suggest innovative measures. Suggest innovative measures to strengthen the role of PRIs. Additionally, suggest innovative measures to strengthen the role of PRIs in achieving in achieving sustainable rural development. In achieving sustainable rural development. Full stop. 250 words, 15 marks. Dheeraj, but people who never gave taxes to panchayats be able to accept it. See, we have to educate people that eventually it's all going to be for your own benefit. So they have to understand. Guys, is my speed fast when I dictate the question? Or it's slow? Okay, fair enough. Great then. It's slow, it's okay. If it's fast, it's not good. Okay, now let's move on to discuss the municipalities. Municipalities. We are talking about the governance at which level? Tell me. Of course, urban areas. We know very well that India is primarily rural economy, and you'd be surprised that despite more people living in rural areas, the contribution to GDP is far more from urban areas, right? Just to point this out, urban population. urban population. Now, of course, I'll give you the 2011 census only. That's the correct census to use. 31.2%, 2011 census. Okay. Now, one more thing. Contribution to GDP is how much? As of now, around 63%. Currently, this will increase to 75% by 2030. So, despite we having a smaller urban population, of course, the contribution to the GDP, the total country's uh, gross domestic product, is close to double, right? Now, municipalities have also been added in the constitution through an amendment to the Indian constitution. And what is that? The 74th Amendment Act. 73rd one was for panchayats, 74th is for municipalities. And we have added part 9A. What is part 9? What is part 9? Part 9 is panchayats. Part 9A is municipalities. And articles 243P to 243ZG. So the last article for panchayats was 243O. Then P for municipalities, Q, R, S, T till Z, sing the song, and then Z A, Z B, Z C till ZG. Are we clear? So, basic information. Now, here also we have one 12th schedule, just like we have 11th schedule for panchayats. What's the 11th schedule? 11th schedule contains those topics on which panchayats may be allowed to perform functions. Exact same thing. 12th schedule contains 18 topics or 18 functional items on which municipalities may be allowed to perform the functions. May be allowed. Same story. Now, the point here, the provisions of panchayat, others in polity book there is no 9A. Which polity book are you talking about? We have the same SEC, we have the same SFC, we have the same audit. It's all the same, just like panchayats. In fact, the same SEC here also, same person. The task is to perform functions and conduct elections for both panchayats and municipalities, which are coming from by. Are Adarsh, this is what the hell is this here? This is a constitutional part. Are you searching for this in Lakshmikant and NCRT? Never ever opened the constitution once also. Utter waste of me telling you important articles. Please download the free PDF available online. Stop downloading useless things. Download the PDF online of the constitution and find out part 9A. What kind of statement is this here? Finding out part 9 in NCRT. Anyway, Now let me add one very important point here. As far as the reservation is concerned, reservation for members and reservation for chairpersons. Shweta, so sir, in Baiju's book, I will not get this. Guys, just a small clarification. Do you understand where this part 9a actually is? A for yes, B for no. I'll explain it, don't worry. If you say no, I'll explain it. Okay, so these are the people. No problem, no problem. See, this part 9a and all these articles, they are not mentioned in your reference books. In your reference books, they are mentioned as explanations. But this part 9 and all these articles are originally they are mentioned in the constitution, right? Lakshmikant and NCRT are just reference books which explain topics to us. They're not some legal books, right? Constitution is a legal book. Download the constitution PDF and you'll find that. In case you're looking at Lakshmikant, you can read chapter 39. There you'll find the same topic. Okay. Are we clear, everybody? Jadhav is explaining to me only. Great, I mean, that's what we expect now. Or 33. No, the 6th edition, chapter 39. What have you guys been doing so far? I mean, now somebody is asking me the edition of Lakshmikant. That is why the poor performance when I ask questions, right? Anyway, let's come to reservation now. Others. Let's come to reservation. When it comes to reservation, for members, I think you can understand. We have for SCs, we have for STs. That is based on population, right? Just like panchayats. And we have for women, which is how much? 1/3, right? Now, please listen to me very carefully. As far as chairperson is concerned in the municipalities, nothing is mentioned in the constitution. State legislature by law to decide. Are we clear on this? State legislature by law will decide. So if a question is asked, the reservation for amongst chairpersons in municipalities for women is 1/3. That is wrong. It is not mentioned anywhere. The state legislature by law will decide whether it will be 1/3, half, etc. Okay. This is a point for you to remember because this is a point which is different for municipalities. Analogous. Nojit, we have seen this word earlier also. Similar. Analogous means similar. Okay. Now, before we discuss the structure of municipality, let me explain the categories of municipalities. Uh, See, panchayats are arranged in a hierarchy. How? Inside a district, there are blocks. Inside a block, there are grams. So it is somewhat like this. If you think of it, we have a district panchayat under which we will have multiple intermediate panchayat. Yes or no? And under those, we will have multiple gram panchayat. Can you see a sense of hierarchy in the panchayats? The same hierarchy is not there in municipalities. Okay? Municipalities are known by different names based on their area. So here what happens is, think of this. A very big area. Then maybe you will have a slightly smaller area. And then maybe you will have a slightly bigger area. This is a larger urban area. This area will have the structure called municipal corporation. This area will have a structure called Nagar Panchayat. Yes, it has the name Panchayat, but it is still an urban area. It's a transitional area, an area which has just transitioned from rural to urban, meaning it was recently a rural area, but because of maybe some kind of development there, it has now become urban, especially the bigger cities, the outskirts of bigger cities, which slowly start becoming urban. That is what is the Nagar Panchayat. And for smaller tier 2, tier 3 towns, we have the structure called municipal council. Okay. So this is the structure. Clear? Now, one very important point. We have, of course, hundreds of municipal corporations. In total, there are 206 municipal corporations. Number not important. Don't ask me, should I remember? It's your choice. You want to, you don't want to, nobody cares. We have around 1683 municipal councils. And we have around 2400 Nagar Panchayats. Now, who decides all these things? Whether your area is a large urban area or a small urban area or a rural to urban transitioning area or a rural area, who decides all that? The governor through notification. Who decides? Decided by governor via a notification. He'll release an order. Of course, don't ask me, sir, is this a real power of governor? I think we saw yesterday only what are the discretionary powers of governor. This is not the discretionary powers of governor. And this decision can be taken on the basis of population, density of population, economic importance, percentage of people employed in non-agri activities, all such things. Okay. Now let's look at the structure. Let's look at the structure. So again, I'll request you, please follow. And the same logic applies here also. We are referring to what kind of area? We are referring to a local self-governance structure, which means there are going to be nomenclature differences. In some of your states, you will call it corporation. Some of you may call it Nagar Palika. Names may differ. We will use the constitutional provision. There are people from at least 15, 20 states. Don't expect me to tell you the names that are being used in your state. That's for you to find out. Okay? Now, your entire state, or think of your city only, that urban area is being divided into small parts. That city, not the state, the city. So this is the city, or even better, to avoid any confusion, an urban area, small city, big city, whatever, is divided into small parts. These parts are called ward. All the people living in these parts, all people living in these parts, they will vote to elect a ward member. Ward member. You can call this person corporator, councillor, depending on which state you belong to. Again, so similarly, from all these areas, there will be ward members. Yes or no? All these ward members sit in a place which is known as mayor in council. Basically, the mayor and his council. So it comprises of the chairperson who is normally referred to as mayor, and plus ward members. These ward members are all directly elected. Directly elected. What about the chairperson? Same thing. State legislature may by law decide whether it is direct or indirect. So in some of the cities and states you belong to, there the mayor may be elected directly by people, and in some other areas they can be elected indirectly also by the ward members from amongst themselves. Are we clear? Again, the same story, it varies from one place to another. Now, see, understand this point here, that this mayor in council, these are politicians, local politicians. They are not experts. So, city planning, city administration is a expertise job. So, we have a body which comprises of experts. This is what is known as a standing committee. This is created by the state government. These experts are also appointed by state government. Okay, these people actually give advice, give suggestions on how to improve city planning. Now, the mayor and the ward members, they will, let's say you want to clean the drainage, you want to approve something, approve a project, set up some new hospital, etc. You want to install some street lights, all such things. The mayor and council will take a decision and convey that decision, give the recommendation to a body which is known as what? Which is known as the Municipal Commissioner's Office. Okay. In this, we have the head, who is the municipal commissioner, a separate post, plus we have other staff members who are chosen by the state government through some examination. Are we clear? This municipal commissioner is an IAS officer, depends on how senior or how junior. If it's a big corporation, then he'll be a senior IAS officer. If it's a small council, then a junior IAS officer. Are we clear on this? Saraswati, I mentioned here, who will elect the mayor? It depends. In some places, people vote for the mayor. In other places, the ward members, these people amongst themselves choose a mayor. Right? Who will be a mayor? So maybe there are 20 ward members. These ward members will choose amongst themselves who becomes the mayor. Yes, Lakshmi, every state has these bodies. Saima, Mahanagarpalika would be a municipal corporation. Nagarpalika would be municipal council. Nandini, what's the problem? Tell me. Commissioner part, Anurag, what to repeat here? Commissioner, the municipal commissioner's office. In your city, there's a municipal office. There are some government employees there. That's it. Simple. Standing committee. I think now we know what is Chavan, what is standing committee. I cannot explain what is the meaning of standing again now. Standing committee is a permanent committee. Some people are chosen by the state government to act as experts. To act as experts. Afreen, who conducts elections for municipalities? Come on, Afreen, this is not fair. State election commissioner, right? Conducts elections for panchayats and municipalities. Nandini, I can't. You please point out what's the exact problem. Then only can I explain. Now, just because your attention is here and there and you're doing multiple tasks, don't expect the faculty to repeat everything. Now, the mayor and council Lakshmi, whatever is the limitation on panchayats, exact same thing is here also. Some parts will not have municipalities. That's assumed. All other states which have panchayats will also have municipalities. Okay? Please have the basic understanding of what question you are raising. Okay? Now please understand here. Let me complete the structure first. In your city, I think some of you have no interest in listening. You just have to ask a question. So I think somebody rightfully pointed out yesterday that some people just want their name to be taken in the class, whether the name is for genuine reasons or not. So, in the words of the legendary actress Rakhi Sawant, every publicity is good publicity, negative or positive. Now, please hear me out. You belong to an urban area, some rural area. I am referring to an urban area, an example of a city. Your city will be divided into small parts, like colony, 4 colonies, 2 colonies, 1 colony. Constituencies. They are called wards. All the people like you in the ward, they will vote and choose somebody who becomes a ward member. Now, who can contest? Those who are of the age 21 can contest. You can also contest if you are 21. Simple. All these people go and sit here. This body is called Mayor in Council. This is a body, Mayor in Council, which comprises of the ward members. Now, ward members will choose somebody who will act as a boss. Without a head, how will any body function? So, ward members may choose from amongst themselves who will act as a chairperson or mayor. Okay. Now, some states also have the alternative option. What? The entire city votes and they choose the mayor. So, mayor or the chairperson can be elected directly or indirectly, just like the Gram Panchayat. It's the exact same thing being repeated. Exact same thing. How can somebody not understand this? Because there is no difference from the Gram Panchayat. No difference whatsoever. Okay? Now, city administration is a very complicated task. You have more literate people, more educated people, you have more industries, more offices, etc. So, we need experts also to give recommendations, to give suggestions on how to plan the city properly, install street lighting properly, clean the drainage system properly, all these things. For that, the government appoints some people who are experts. Now, there is no qualification mentioned. Whoever the government feels an expert can be appointed. These people are a part of a body called standing committee. Standing committee, we have already seen this term before. Permanent committee, right? This standing committee gives recommendations, suggestions to the mayor in council that what can be done in that colony. Drainage is always choked. We have to do something about it. In that particular colony, there's always water overflowing from the drain, so there can be a possibility of malaria. So please look into that. All these things. This mayor in council will now give suggestions, give recommendations to the municipal commissioner's office. So, after all, this is like a legislative body. They have to have some executive also who will implement those tasks. Just because a group of experts told the parliament that let's have some uh, law, the parliament made a law, but somebody has to implement the law. So here, experts give a suggestion to the mayor and council that, in that particular colony, we want to install 20 more street lights. I hope you know what is street light, right? 20 more street lights. So the mayor and council said, okay, very good, good idea. Let's approve it. They approve it. Okay, we want to install 20 street lights. But these ward members will not go and install the street lights on their own. The government will do it. So who is the government here for them? Who is the implementing agency? They will ask this body called the Municipal Commissioner's Office to implement the suggestions, the recommendations. Are we clear now, everybody? Now comes the most important question. When this mayor in council gives any recommendation, come on, install 20 lights there. Should the municipal commissioner follow it? No. That is why I said recommendations. Recommendations which are not binding. So, this chairperson and the mayor and the ward members, they are just a legislative body. The real power lies with the executive body. That is why the municipal commissioner is the real head. The municipal commissioner is the real head. Are we clear? This entire structure is called the municipal corporation if it's in a bigger city. This entire structure is called a municipal council if it's in a smaller city. This entire structure is called a Nagar Panchayat if it is in a transitional area. Are we clear? Shahul Hamid, your question itself is wrong. Why no executive in PRI? Really? Tell me, guys, do we have executive in PRI? Others are saying yes. Some of you are saying no because you have no idea. There's something called revision. District collector, BDO, panchayat secretary. Who are these people? Revise, guys, revise. Just reading it once is not called revision. Somebody has to tell you, you have to revise multiple times. Now, Anurag, sir, don't you think? What do I think? Everybody thinks this is wrong. Now, see, please understand, this is not a very nice system. I don't know if anybody is spotting this. People, you and me, we are choosing ward members, directly elected people. Who holds the real power? Government officers. These people are appointed by the government. IAS officer there. He has the real power. What kind of democracy is this? Where the elected representatives have no power only. Sadly, this is a system in every part of the country except in some small parts in West Bengal, where you have the other pattern where their recommendations are binding. But in every other part, this is what is there. Why? Because this was started by Britishers, British system. So the Britishers wanted to give the ultimate control to the Indian civil services officer, who they hired, who they controlled. That is why this system is called the Bombay pattern of administration. Bombay pattern of administration, or also called the commissionerate pattern, popularly called the commissionerate pattern. Why? Because commissioner is the real authority here. So again, a good thing for you that if you become an IAS officer and some of you become commissioners, then you will enjoy full power. Are we clear? Arey Sandeep, this is a question from Gram Nyalay. Ignore that. We'll discuss Gram Nyalay separately. Okay? That is a separate provision under judiciary. Ignore it. So, of course, all of you will be very happy because if you are an IAS officer, you have the real power. Divyanshi, if mayor recommend for 20, it is upon the officer. If I said yes, then for Divyanshi, this is separate from the budget of the state. From where do you draw the link also? They have their own budget. Every level has their own money, their own budget. Yes, Shahul Hamid, it can be done. Pihu, 5-year tenure. Megha, don't use the word district magistrate. Why are you using district magistrate? I am telling you, use municipal commissioner. Don't create own terms. He is called municipal commissioner. DM is separate person. Kumari, please approach the ward member or the mayor or the commissioner. But rightfully, you have elected the ward member. Please approach him or her. If you have also voted for the mayor, then please approach the mayor. Shilpi standing committee will always give recommendations, giving suggestions. Shilpi, suggestions. Prem Kumar, that can also be said for MPs then, MLAs then. Abhishek, in the smaller municipalities, that person is only called chairperson. Chairperson can be called mayor. Okay? He's a chairperson. Sama, how to compare municipal commissioner is an executive, mayor is a politician, there is no link only. How do we put them in the hierarchy? Yes, Nuti Kadi, it will be there for every place. Yes, Gaurav. No, no, Gaurav, your statement is wrong. The chairperson is elected indirectly. That is mentioned in the constitution. State legislatures cannot do it on their own. Sandeep, there is only IS everywhere. Yes, of course. That is what is the control, hijacking of all the posts by IAS officers. No, Darshan. Constitutional obligation. Uh, Pili, no, that's not possible. Sardarni, those awards are given Deen Dayal Upadhyay Award for every level and Nanaji Deshmukh Award for collective. First prize. No, Kirtana, those are two different offices. Yes, Girish, correct. Okay, so let's end our discussion here only. Mr. Peace, sir, is there any relation between ruling party in legislature with municipalities? No, basically the idea is that these political parties also send their people to contest elections here. So it is not that there is opposition or something, but yes, it's very much possible that in the state you have BJP government, but in the municipality elections, Congress people have won. That's possible. So that's nothing unique. Not at all a problem. Are we clear, everybody? Any other doubt? Shilpi, it is through an examination, state piece, SSC examinations. Parshad, yes, yes, ward member. Now, sir, can ward member directly meet IAS officers? What kind of question is this? It depends. It depends. If you are a nice IAS officer, you'll allow them come and meet. Otherwise, you'll say get lost. Simple. Akhil, where we study CEO of Parishad. Arey, Zilla Panchayat CEO is district collector, DC. Do commissioner implement directly? Do they have funds provided by state government? No, they have funds given by state government only. Suresh, it is not about block level. It is about urban or rural area. Understand? Urban or rural area. Is DM above commissioner? Sandeep. What kind of questions are these? But they are two different people in different roles. It depends on which place you are. No, Megha, it is not important to remember the 9 themes. Shivam, why? Because we want people to get a taste of direct democracy. That's it. Okay, task for today. Let's mention here. Are you actually following this task? Because clearly some of you did not even know what is the constitution. So if I scold, somebody will say I am demotivating. But this is shameful. After 10-15 days of class, if you have not even downloaded the PDF of the constitution, which was said on the first day, it is shameful. So please take all these things seriously. Download the PDF, at least go through, scroll through the PDF after every topic. I have mentioned all those things. Important articles. From where I can download? Others, did you even see the very first video? Google search for it. You can Google search for hundreds of things, but you cannot Google search for the constitution. What kind of spoon feeding do you want here? I think this task is just a joke for you. Please don't waste parents' money like this. You don't really know what struggles are there outside. Sitting in the confines of your house, just enjoy your life. Free food, free internet. That's what you feel. Your parents are struggling outside. It's a tough world out there. What are you doing? Revise the PPTs, read the editorials, solve the questions that I gave you. I hope you're writing answer on the very same day. Don't keep on collecting questions. Okay? Write the answer after revising same day, meaning tomorrow. Political theory needs to be revised. Then your Yojana Kurukshetra, the gist. Then People for 2024 monthly magazine. And People for 2024, one more thing. It's very, very important to understand that time is very less now. Please start your optional preparation ASAP. Before the end of December, you should be done with your optionals. Okay, Mahesh, it was explained. Basically, it was with respect to population, density of population, etc. Pallavi, where is Yojana Kurukshetra? Let it be. Three toppers for today. Sarfuddin, Aditya, and Revanna, chocolate 100% whenever you meet me. Take a screenshot and keep it. Without that, no proof, no chocolate. Darshan, Girish, Pooja, Dudekula, Yuvraj, Sahil, Ritu, Pranav, Chetan, Chetan, BK Vibhu at rank 4. And then we have people at rank 14: Nikhil, Sandeep, Pallavi, Tanish, Venkatnalla, Vajinathan, Ayush, P. Chandranath, etc. Are we clear, guys? Will we study, please? Will that be possible to revise properly? Okay, let's hope studies and revision go on properly. Please take all these things seriously, guys. The same old people always say yes to everything and mark answers also. Others who raise questions, I never see you giving any right answer. It is not correct. Please revise. Please study properly. Right? I mean, I'll be getting paid anyway. Your money is gone anyway. But it does not look and appear nice that you waste your time, right? Why the same lecture again and again? Okay, that is all, Ghulam Mustafa. At least 3 4 times, because trust me, less than 3 4 times of revision, I don't see you recollecting those points after 4 months. So revision of any source, be it political theory or this monthly magazine or even your Yojana Kurukshetra, has to be done at least 3 4 times. Anything less, you won't recollect, simply won't recollect. Yes, Rohit, of course, but I don't see why it is required. It's already notes here. You can write this in your own handwriting. That's possible. Okay, guys, let's meet tomorrow. Last day of the week. Till then, that is all for me for today. Jai Hind.